All right, what's going on, guys? It's Austin here for the 2020 review of my entire day trading um, career, I guess. Up until this point, I've only been day trading for about 5 months, one, two, three, four, five, and then some time in January as well. Um, but I've been trading and watching stocks for well over 2 years now. And for those 2 years, I have literally woken up and watched stocks move every single day. Just watching price action on stocks that are moving, on stocks that I have positions in. I've been watching stocks be, their price action, the way they behave for a really long time. Or, well, I guess it's all relative, but to me, it's a really long time. And then I only started day trading in mid. It was really mid July actually. I started dabbling in kind of day trading because I got my account over the PDT rule in mid July or in early July, and I thought, well, okay, now day trading's been something that I kind of want to dip my toes into a little bit, but now I'm over the PDT rule and I'm able to kind of do that. And I got my account over the PDT rule, trading options and swinging stocks as well. I don't really like to do that as much anymore now that I'm day trading, because I think day trading is a lot more fun, a lot more active, I enjoy doing it more for sure. And I think I feel more comfortable. I feel like my strategy is more sound even just in the 5 months I've been doing it. So then I kind of want to take this month by month. I think that's what I'll do. So I did say that I started day trading in mid-July, but I didn't start uploading my trades to this website TraderView until mid-August, as you can see here. But in July, I started out, I was trading small cap stocks mostly, which are definitely good to day trade. In my opinion, they're not that good to day trade given the fact that I'm trading on thinkorswim. There's definitely some more stuff that goes into that. That's not really the subject of this video. But in July, I'd say I was taking very small share size, very reasonably small risk, just kind of dipping my toes into day trading. I honestly don't know. If you'd asked me, were you up on the month or down on July when I first started, I don't know. I was probably down. I mean, that's my guess, but I don't know. I remember having some pretty big winning days too. I believe Kodak, if you have been day trading for a while now, Kodak made a crazy move over the summer in July, and I remember I traded Kodak. I think I made over $1,000 trading that stock on that day that it went totally ballistic. So I don't know. Was I down on the month? Probably. I know I had some big losers in that month as well. But for the most part, trading with small size in July, and it's not really it's not really reflective of of how I day trade now at all. Then coming into August, let's look at August again. Really small amount of risk. You can see I'm down on the month because I have my losers are much bigger than my winners here. But I mean, you look at some of these trades. These are small cap stocks. This is not how I really trade now. Again, that month was not really representative of how I trade now, I'd say. So August was kind of also experimental and kind of waking up and getting used to watching these small caps move around. September was when I really started to transition to. Well, actually, let's take a look. Sorry, I'm gonna pause for a second here and just look. Because I'm curious. I know in August I was trading some small caps, but I wonder, let's click on a random day here. So still here trading some mid to large caps, but also mostly trading small cap stocks here. DKS, that's what, Dick's Sporting? No. Big Five? I don't know what stock that is, honestly. I think that might be Big Five. I don't even know what DKS is. All right, but let's go back. Let's look here. August, the end of August. Let's look here. AUVI. So still trading small caps in August there. But I remember coming into September. September was really the transition towards not really trading small caps anymore. Just coming into September, that's kind of when I started trading mid to large cap stocks. Started trading different types of stocks, and that's really kind of where I started finding my groove. And that's to how, those are the kind of stocks I trade that work kind of more for my strategy, and those are more stocks that I like to trade now. And so September, I would really say September was the beginning of kind of my day trading, like really kind of finding a groove in day trading and being good at it. And if we look here on kind of, let's go to days times, and you can see performance by month of year. September was my first green month, up $4,000 in the month of September. I remember stocks I traded in September were like Zoom. I think I traded a lot in last September. We can click on a random day here. Peloton. I actually shared some trades. It looks like from this day. I don't really remember doing that. But look, here's a big loss on Apple, a big gain on Apple. So this is where I started trading those mid to large cap stocks. Still kind of all over the place, as you can see here. Look at this P&L chart. This is kind of crazy. I'm just picking one day. But obviously, look at this. I'm trading all day, really. So that's not really how I trade anymore. And this is pretty kind of up and down, and I don't really trade like that anymore. Let's look at like kind of maybe one of these losing days. So here's a day where I didn't really trade as much. Anyway, very kind of sporadic in September, and still today, I trade kind of differently every day. It depends on what's going on in that day. I don't have P&L charts that look the same every day, obviously, but on, you see here some big winning days. $842 in one day is my biggest winning day. Well, 744 and then 842 the next week. Those were my biggest winning days uploaded to TraderView up until the next month, October. Let's talk about October. Was my best month and still is my best month ever in trading. Why? Well, the truth is I don't really know. I think trading, it's kind of an ebb and flow, hot streaks, cold streaks. Kind of a back and forth. But you can see I also started off the month with a $1,700 loss, the biggest loss I'd had up until that point. I think that was my first day with over $1,000 loss and well over $1,000. And then the next Friday, $2,700 loss the next Friday. So really, the first week and a half of October, I was really kind of floundering and not really finding. I don't know, was this break even up until mid-October here? I'm not going to do all the math, but it looks like maybe this is kind of about break even. Maybe, I don't know, something like that. But I also have some good winning days here up until that point. And this was the biggest loss that I'd ever had, $2,700 up until that point. So the losses are getting bigger, unfortunately, and that's something that I've had to struggle with too, is kind of losses getting bigger and bigger, well, not bigger and bigger, but struggling with taking big losses and having those big drawdown days, going up in P&L and then like right back down to where I was before, which sucks. And so that's one of the hard things about trading, is to try to not have those big blow up days. It's like easy to get really cocky on these days and go, oh yeah, like I'm making money every day, this is easy, and then it just takes one day to just blow up all of that. But after this $2,700 loss, look at this. One more red day, and then from then on, look at the rest of this next week. $877, over $1,000, over $1,000, $1,600, $1,500, $1,200, $700, $1,200. I mean, that is like, I was finding a groove. I post recaps now, up 200, down 100, up, down 50, up 300. Like, my P&Ls right now, day to day, are like a lot in a lot tighter range than they were in October. October, I was taking a lot more risk and kind of really balls to the wall. And why is that? Well, October really is the story of Peloton. If I look here at kind of this instrument section text tells me stocks that I have the biggest gain on and the biggest losses on. So like VVPR, for example, I only took one trade on that, lost $2,000 on one trade. And I think that was that $2,700 loss day. This is where that's from. I've not traded VVPR since. It's a small cap stock. I lost $2,000 on it. End of story. And it remains to this day my biggest losing trade. Not my biggest losing trade. My biggest losing stock. And then on the flip side, Peloton, my biggest gain in one stock. And that's all from October. October, I traded the absolute crap out of Peloton. It's almost like every day I woke up and I took a trade on it, and I made a lot of money on it. A lot of money on Peloton. I actually had this, you see it says 7,500. It was more like 11,000. And I've had some big losses on Peloton since October. Probably if you take October out of this whole chart here, you'd see Peloton would probably be negative, actually. I'm pretty sure it would be negative because I had some really, really big losses. This loss right here, largest loss, $3,600. That's from Peloton. That's from this, and it's very ugly. But you know, let's just continue on here, and I'll try to be quick. October, really great month, and yeah, just trading Peloton like every single day. Peloton and Jinko Solar. Jinko Solar had a lot of volume in the month of October. In the latter half of the month, I started trading that and being really successful trading Jinko Solar. That's where a lot of these other ones, all these big days are from, trading Peloton and Jinko Solar mainly. And that's what it's about, you know, finding those stocks that you feel really comfortable trading, and you can wake up every single day, trade that stock, and just be like, yes, I am winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. And it's not to say every single trade you take on it is a winning trade, but it's great if you are able to just keep hammering those trades on the same stocks every single day. So coming out of October, Peloton became kind of I transitioned out of trading it because the volume, it started trading with less volume, a lot less volume, and not having these big crazy days where it swings from a low of $89 up to $110. It was not trading like that anymore in the month of November. And the month of November is my worst month that I've ever had, I believe. Let's look again at this chart here. Yeah, so month of November is my worst month. I actually lost money in November, $1,500. Not the end of the world, but it sucks to have a losing month. You know, I wouldn't have expected that coming into November. I started November really strong, $500, $300, $500, $500. Small loss here, $1,000 here. On the, before the 10th of November, this was shaping up to be a really good loss, or a really good month. Sorry, but the 10th of November changed all of that. I lost $4,000 in one day, and that's what I talk about when I say the P&L goes up and up and up, and then boom, craters with one day where you can see I only took 3 trades in this day. And look at this crazy P&L chart. What does this look like to you? This looks like bag holding a position. It was a loser from the get-go, and I'm just being like, no, this can't be happening. This can't be happening. I'm just going to hold the position. Everything's going to it's just like denial and doing exactly what you're not supposed to do, not following your rules. And that's how you have these really big blow up days. Huge, huge loss here. And I think in one of my videos, I've gone into some more detail on this trade, but the long story short is I tried to go long. I bag held the position. I thought it can't get any worse than this. It's going to reverse. It's going to reverse. I'm waiting for that 10 p.m. reverse or 10 a.m. reversal. The reversal actually does come. It comes. It starts working in my favor. It shoots back up. And Peloton this day, it went down, 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 super far down, and I was long the whole time. Then it had that reversal, and it reversed all the way back up. And not only did it come back to the open of the day, it went boom, like it doubled that move from the bottom to the open of the day, and then it doubled it and went all the way up. And when I was taking profit along the way, it was coming back up to the open price, and as it was coming back up to the open price, I'm like, yes, 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 and I'm recovering all this. I think I was actually up. It doesn't show it here, but I think I was actually up on the position. As you see here, down over $4,000, and I think up here, within just the span of 30 minutes or an hour, I was back up on the position like $300 as I was sizing out of the position. Then it keeps going up, and I say, okay, look, it was just down like 15% on the day. Like, this thing is going crazy. This is just some crazy squeeze. I'm going to short it. So then I short it, and I take way too big size shorting it. I want to flip this day incredibly green. But no, it continues going up. It just goes up, 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 and boom, I'm back down even lower than I was before, down 5,000, pull back, down 6,000, pull back, down almost $7,000 at most on the day. I mean, I remember this day pretty well, and then I ended the day down over $4,000. So that was a roller coaster ride of a day. That's been my worst day, still my worst day of all time. That $4,000 loss, and then on Friday a $1,200 loss to kind of back it up. Luckily on that day I was able to pull the plug, but some bad losses in there, and that's what that happens to traders. It's unavoidable. Big loss days, they happen. Well, they're not unavoidable, but you will have losses, and you will have relatively big losses compared to the size that you take, and that's what trading is. Next week, fully green, and then some holidays in here, and unfortunately I closed out the month with 2 back-to-back. This is over $1,000 of loss in 2 days. So then I finished the month over $1,500 in the red. Without these 2 days, if these 2 days had just been up, plus 250, plus 250, I would have been break even on the month. But I traded horribly in these 2 days. I didn't trade much, I traded a little bit, and it was just a disaster. And just right here, just disaster. And that's it for November. It was a bad month. December is another kind of unfortunate story. I started out the month strong, green, totally green, small loss days, nothing, everything very manageable. And then boom, this week, just big fat losses that really ate into my profits on the month. And after this day, Christmas Eve here, I really had to step back and evaluate what I was doing wrong, and kind of be very introspective about my strategy and what's going on. And so in the future, I'm hoping, I haven't had a lost day like this since then. And this isn't a $4,000 loss, at least. These aren't $4,000 loss, but they are big losses. And so you have to ask yourself why these are happening, what's going on. And it's simple, not cutting a losing position and letting them run is it's one of the hardest things to do, is cut a position when you're down on it, and respect the trade and respect the pattern. And when it breaks, you got to cut the position. That's what you got to do. But it can be hard. It's easier said than done. And this was another loss this was a BABA loss. Yeah, really unfortunate. But I mean, you look at this, the loss was $4,000, and I was able to cut it in half. So could have been a lot worse. So anyway, I think the story of 2020 is a really good start to my day trading journey. Again, it's only been 5 months or 5.5 months or whatever, so it's still like very young, and I think I have a lot to kind of improve. But it's been good. I'll go here to this kind of these statistics are interesting too, and I'll input. Let's go here to here, and this encapsulates all of my trades from 2020, and so I'm still up $13,000, almost $14,000 on the year of 2020. Average daily gain over $150, but you can see there's some bad things in here. My largest loss is way bigger than my largest gain on a trade, average winning trade is smaller than my average losing trade. That's because I have way more winners, but my losses are bigger, and I have to cut that out, and I have to make sure that stops. I win on 57% of trades. Your win percentage doesn't really matter as much, as long as you can keep this in a good position. If your average winning trade is really big, then you can have a lower win rate, right? That's kind of how that works. What's nice here too is you can see consecutive wins 12, consecutive losses 7. So I do win more. Anyway, so there's some interesting statistics here, but the story of 2020 is kind of getting started day trading, and I've been doing it for 6 months now. And January so far of 2021 has been kind of a struggle. You can see I've got a lot of red days here, but they're small and they're manageable. So it's I'm keeping it contained. But you look at this here, I'm down on the month of January very slightly. Let's look down $120. So today I was up $378. So I'm actually up on the month of January after including today's trades. And you look at the win percentage so far in January 2021, 63%. That's pretty good. My largest gain, 530. My largest loss is about the same. It's just this average winning and average losing, and my losses have been bigger than my winners. My losses haven't been like, crazy. Average losing trade $180. That's not that bad. So it's really too early to say. It's, the year's just getting started, and this is a 2020 recap after all. But anyway, that's been the story of 2020. Is it's overall it's a positive, but there's some things that I need to work on in making sure that those large losses just don't happen, right? And it's something that I've thought a lot about, saying, okay, $1,200 loss, and I'm stopping. I'm done trading on the day. 1,200 loss, that's my max, and I'm walking away at that point. So that means if I have a losing trade that takes me over 1,200, then I'm done. And that way, a $4,000 loss can never happen that way, right? So if you have a $400 risk per trade, and you lose 3 trades in a row, that's 400, 800, 1,200, and you're done. And I think that would be a healthy thing for me to do, and just make sure that I don't have any of those big huge blow up days where it's like, oh my God, I just one whole month of gains has just been wiped out in one day from basically one trade, right? So it's about avoiding those kind of catastrophes, and that's I'd say the number one thing that I need to work on. Other than that, I've got some really positive things going. I've got some really great stretches of green in here, and it's definitely some good takeaways. All right, guys, I hope you learned a lot from this 2020 recap. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else that I didn't kind of talk about that you want me to answer or discuss. My Discord link is in the description, as always. And if you did learn something from this and you think it's helpful, if you like it, then leave a like on it. I appreciate that. Subscribe if you think this content is helpful. I do recaps of my trades every single day, almost every single day. I'm pretty good. So if you're interested in that, and I do day trade in thinkorswim. I'm sure a lot of you guys use the platform. So if you think that kind of content is helpful for you, then definitely subscribe and join the Discord server if you have any questions. All right, thanks guys. That's it from me.